we need to add new doctors to help out, right? As doctors retire, we need new doctors. We have a lot more new doctors coming on now than ever in the past. This year, there were 51 new doctors. If we can get people up to speed with what took me 15 years to learn in the span of 6 months, I mean, how incredible is that?
I'm Dr. Scott Law, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the Smile Doctors Off Mute podcast. Our guest today is Tonya Volk, Dr. Tonya Volk, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the Smile Doctors Fellowship Program. I know a lot of people have been talking about it, especially these new doctors who are coming out of school and those residents who want to hear more about what does a career path look like inside of Smile Doctors and inside of orthodontic industry as a whole, because there's a lot of education that you get in school, a ton of it. But then there is real life, and it's what you find on the outside, the types of orthodontics that work, and how to interact with patients and chairside and see a lot more than 5 to 8 patients a day, as well as how to run a business, how to think like an owner and operate that way. And so Tonya heads up for Smile Doctors the fellowship program. And so Tonya, I am so pumped to have you today and to answer some questions that a lot of people have been asking of just around the program and around our philosophy on bringing up new and young doctors to succeed. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Excited to talk about it. It's a very exciting program.
Okay. What kind of led you to want to get into this, or what needs did you identify? How did this all come about?
Yeah. I wish that I could take the credit for having this idea, but several of the doctors and Smile Doctors have been talking about this for a few years and how it would be beneficial. And so, I'm just excited to be able to help to develop the trainings and put it together for the newer doctors. So, For sure. I think of course, you're the biggest deflector ever, and you always give credit to others, and you are amazing. And you and I joke a lot when we get together and just talk about that. I think between the two of us, we've never really had an original idea. That it's always been looking and seeing what's working for others and how, or other businesses, and how could we apply it, and then just rolling that back. Walk us through a little bit of your experience as a new grad, and then some of those pain points, and then why we're trying to help new grads now to avoid that. 100%. Yes. And it is absolutely true that I do not have original ideas, but I am really, really good at stealing good ideas and implementing it. So that's the thing. I graduated. I remember the first couple offices I worked out of, man, I had a notebook and pen, and it was like everything I was writing down. Okay, give birthday balloons, do this, whatever. And it was pages daily of things that I would come across that I hadn't learned in school that were now brand new, right? And I think, a lot of the leadership doctors, even in Smile Doctors, we brought consultants in, we visited a million offices, and we took a bunch of notes, and then we came back and brought that into our own office. So the beauty of this is these new doctors have a built-in study club. We've already taken the best of the best, and now it's kind of all packaged together and given. They don't have to do the same legwork that we had to do in order to get all this information. So it's exciting.
I know it is the power of the group like that. If you had to summarize the Smile Doctors Fellowship Program in one sentence, what would it be for you?
The Smile Doctors Fellowship group is a group of efficient collaboration and learning. That's the best way to put it. Yeah.
I would totally agree. I think, especially as we look across these operators all across our industry, the best ones are the ones who do that, who collaborate with each other, get these best systems, these best methods on how to practice, how to operate, the workflows, just seamless integrations. And that's what makes you be able to scale and see patients and deliver a high level of care and love and outcomes on all that. So awesome. I love that. Very cool. Let's see. So how does this, so the fellowship, how does it fit into kind of the broader commitment of investing in people and the profession for smile doctors?
I mean, these new doctors are so vital to smile doctors. As, these local businesses grow, we need to add new doctors to help out, right? As doctors retire, we need new doctors. So if we can get people up to speed with what took me 15 years to learn in the span of 6 months, I mean, how incredible is that? The doctors who work in our original practices are so far ahead of where we were, even they're a year out potentially compared to us 10 years out. They have all that information and knowledge, being able to learn from the best of the best in smile doctors. So it's pretty incredible.
I agree. What was your experience like? And did you have mentors? Did you have people who helped you? Were they just here and there, or was it pretty consistent? What inspired you to want to create kind of this mentorship program?
Kind of the journey for both Ryan. So Ryan's my husband, and he's also an orthodontist. So both of our journeys is we each bought a practice, and they're pretty small practices at the time. And so we learned a lot from the orthodontists that we worked beside, but they worked beside us for about a year, and then it was our thing. So I would definitely consider them and some faculty members, but the biggest mentors were some of these study groups that we joined over time, and we would go to visit practices, and we would come together once or twice a year and open up and share best practices. But we had to pay a lot of money to do that. And again, like it's amazing that they have these built-in study clubs, and the mentor doctors leading these are literally the people with the best practices in the country. It's pretty amazing to have that experience.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's pretty awesome. So now that you've had the chance to kind of grow up through, being mentored, seeing your practice go from one that was very small, struggling, you guys were trying to figure it out, and now you're on the other end of leading this mentorship program. How does it feel to be on that other end? What energizes you? What gets you excited about it?
I still think the thing that's most exciting for me is learning from other people. Like I can't even say that I'm on the other side of it, because even talking with the newer doctors and their energy and passion and willingness to learn, but also willingness to share and still learning from each other. It's my favorite part of it, is just the continual collaboration and growing.
What a great answer. I knew you'd answer something like that. That was awesome. Awesome. None of us have ever really arrived yet. There's so much to do, to learn. That's great. Okay. So in the design of the fellowship program, walk us through a little bit. What can people expect? What's the summit? What does the first 6 months, the first year look like? What are some of the high points?
We just came off of a really exciting meeting a few weeks ago in September. It was a 3-day meeting, 2 days like full in of all day just learning, but also a portion of that was going to offices who are doing things pretty darn well and just shadowing, observing, and seeing how they lead the huddle and how different treatment efficiencies that we've learned within Smile Doctors actually flow in action, right? It's very hard to hear it in lecture versus to see, oh my gosh, this can actually work and how it works. So
I think we have some footage too, so we'll probably play it too while you're talking about it. But what did that first day look like?
Yeah, so the first day we went out to the offices, shadowed, and then the nice thing is, 30 to 45 minute shuttle ride to each of the offices. A lot of just team, bonding time and getting to know each other. And so really things started there in that shuttle ride. Then a couple hours in the clinic, shuttle ride back. The first day then was focused on metrics and exam and building relationships within our office and within the community. Mm-hmm. Day 2 then was all about clinic efficiency because, of course we want to have a busy office, but if we can be clinically efficient and make our life way easier when in the office, that's what we want to do. So there was a full day on just clinical efficiency, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. What was the biggest surprise you had from the meeting?
Do you know what? It was how interactive all the new doctors were with each other. Even right from the start, I thought maybe there would be a little bit of timidness right at first because, it's a lot of new people and not knowing what to expect. And I was so impressed with just the personalities and the willingness to get out of the comfort zone and meet other people. And I think there were a lot of really, really nice connections made even after that first couple of days. So that was cool to see.
I thought it was really cool because we had people come from all over the country. I think we had like 51 fellowship doctors, right? So they were doctors who'd been in practice a few years and less. And I think we had one who'd graduated, like 2 weeks before. And awesome. What a great experience to have that be your first exposure and learning. Yeah, I thought that the connection and openness was fantastic right off. Everybody got to know each other's names, where they're from, who they're supported by, all of that. My favorite part about it that was really eye-opening was, well, a couple things, where the panel discussions, where doctors were able to ask just straight up questions on, from experienced docs who were there open and willing to share like the good, the bad, the ugly. And it was different than other meetings, right? So you and I have been in study groups quite a bit. And kind of when you go to meetings, you always have to take everything with a grain of salt. Just like, are they really doing that? Is that really, really how it is? So is it embellished a little bit or is it underplayed a little bit? Or, you never quite know. And in this, when you're in an environment where everyone wants you to succeed because we're all partners together, it's pretty cool because you get it straight from the horse's mouth on what works, what doesn't. And so I felt like these doctors are like, I can hear you and I can apply this right now and know that this has been pressure tested and it works, or that multiple people tried this or that and it didn't work. And so it was really cool. And the role plays were fun too. So that was an interesting part. So Smile Doctors, our philosophy around doctors is that we are a doctor-driven organization, 100%. So is the focus mostly through the fellowship one of clinical? Is it leadership? Is it business? Is it kind of all of that? Where is emphasis placed?
All of it. So leadership, communication, clinical efficiency, ideal exam flow, culture within the office, people first, T second, et cetera, et cetera. So it really encompasses all of it. And honestly, the first couple days in person, we tried to touch on all of that, but then these monthly meetings throughout the year are going to be deeper dives into each of those topics as needed.
So Tonya, part of the curriculum of the Smile Doctors Fellowship is you laid it out so that we follow kind of those core basics of what works in every successful practice. And those are kind of the foundation and building blocks of what it is. But with that, it can't just be that, we take care of all of discomfort, ease, and just line the path for the doctors. What do they need to do to be successful?
So true, and such a good point. Yeah. And so I think what we try to do is take out the legwork that's not necessary. It's hard enough, new grad, to come in and, come into a new patient base where, okay, let's rewind to when I came out. Some patients requested seeing the legacy doctor. That's who they were used to, whatever. Some patient, we have all these challenges coming out as a new doctor. There's a huge learning curve. Like in my residency, we saw 6 to 8 patients a day. Now we're, I'm out and we're seeing 80 patients a day. That's a huge learning curve. So there's enough things that are a huge learning curve and challenging for a new doctor. So if we can make the life easier by hoping to guide with some of those other systems, it really helps. But yeah, I mean, we still have to work hard. We're still out building relationships with dentists and building relationships with the community and building relationships with patients, right? Like these are new patients to us. So yeah, there's enough hard work in all of that if we can help to make life easier by helping with some of that systematic things, then that's hopeful.
I agree. I totally agree. I think the way that Greg Goggins framed it, it was so beautiful. Really, so we are a doctor-driven organization, and he used this analogy that our doctors are race car drivers, and that the pit crew are all of us who are supporting our doctors to be successful. We can't drive that car. We can help get it ready. We can help get all the things. We can coach. We can radio, as the race is going on, and we can help from that way. But our doctors are the ones who are in that driver's seat, and they're the ones who are making this work. They're the ones who are pushing down the gas to drive it and make it go as fast as it can go and as big as it can go and win the race. And they get all the credit and success. We're here behind to help. And so I love the approach and that mentality. It's still hard, man. Practice is hard, especially as you're figuring it out and it's something new. It is new. It's just an extension of your education as you go. But now you kind of got the cliff notes and you got the secrets on what to do, where and when, and how to take the turns and how to do this. But man, I just get really excited to see the growth in our doctors as they do apply it. They get that success. The team follows with them, and they just become tremendous leaders, and then give back and make us all better with what they've learned and figured out, just like you said, because nobody has it figured out, and business is constantly evolving. And as they learn more, man, it just makes the whole even better as we share one with another, shoulder to shoulder. So yeah, this is a fantastic program.
So true. As a new doctor, when I came out, the people who I counted on and who were my pit crew were other doctors who graduated at the same time as me. And they're awesome. They're still awesome friends, but they didn't have all the experience of knowing, kind of best practices. So pretty cool for these new doctors to have as their pit crew, seasoned doctors who have been there and done it and kind of learned best practices along the way. So, and by far the feedback that I've gotten from the new doctor is all of it was valuable. I haven't seen one thing that they're like, well, I wish that wasn't part of it. I think they really enjoyed all of it. But like you said, the panel discussions and then also the on-site visit.
Yeah.
I think were the two things that people were, wow, I want more of that. How can we continue that? So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that was just really special to see an office in action. Office visits are so great, and especially when you're partners, because they'll show you the real stuff, so you can really see it. You can see how the huddle works. You can see how the team communicates. You can see where they're struggling or where they've overcome, situations. And so you can then take it right back and apply it to your team. So it's really cool. So have we gotten some feedback yet? I know recently we had a follow-up webinar where we were able to hear from the doctors on different areas they wanted to improve and actions they want to take over the next, quarter or 2 quarters. What have you heard so far?
Yeah, it's been interesting seeing the survey because there's a little of everything. There's a lot on communication. How do you handle, this or that comes up within the office, both with patients and with team members. So we'll definitely be touching on that more. There's been a lot on, for further digging into exams, further digging into metrics and how do we look at the numbers, more on clinical efficiencies and clinical pearl. So yeah, there's a lot planned yet coming up, and it'll be great. So
I know. So give us a little bit of the overview of like the why. So in doing this fellowship, what impact are we looking to make? Like not only, I guess you could go industry wide, smile doctors, the doctors down to the patient? What do you see on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest why is just not having it be as easy as it can be for the new doctors to get all of the information that it took us years and years to be able to get. So to have that all put together, prepackaged, here it is, and to have that mentorship with another doctor who has been there and done that. And I know we already touched on this, but the support doctors who are supporting them literally had the best practices in the country, like amazing practices. So for them to be able to learn from people who have been there and done that, and put the grind in and got all of this together is just huge. So the why is really to make these new doctors' life as easy as it can be coming out, and being able to step in and take over a practice without having to pull their hair out and feeling really supported.
Totally agree. I think the ultimate goal too is, we always want to improve the experience for our patients, for our teams, that we deliver the highest level of clinical care. And as a doc, that's all you want. You're coming out of school, that's all you want. You want that. You want to have every case just go perfect, smooth. Your team gets along, everything's great, but you kind of get slapped in the face and you don't know what you don't know. And you're a business owner and you're running a practice. And it's like, I thought the orthodontics would be the hardest part of this. And that's like the easiest part, even though that's still hard. I know unless you start a practice from scratch, you have 0 patients, you're going to be taking over someone else's cases. And so there's all that conflict of how do you handle different mechanics and taking over those, or heaven forbid, there's cases that are overestimated completion date, that are running long, and patients are frustrated and they don't know who you are and they don't trust you. And so I think whether you're private practice, whether you're in an OSO, whatever it is, you're going to have these kinds of frustrations and these conflicts and all of that goes along with being a business owner. But yet, in Smile Doctors, we really try and help our doctors and help them succeed, so they can be true owners. And we would love for every one of these docs to open a de novo, right, and to be a JV owner that way. That is the hope, that is the future, and that's where we want to get them all to that path, that career path. So Tonya, within Smile Doctors, we've always had new doctors who have joined us, some with a few years experience, some right out of school, and to varying degrees, I think we've supported them. Why now? Why did we implement and formalize this whole program through the fellowship?
Yeah, such a good question. I really think the main reason is we're growing, right? And so we have a lot more new doctors coming on now than ever in the past. Like we used to get new doctors for sure, but this year, like you said, there were 51 new doctors at the summit. And in the past, I think maybe it was a small enough number that it would, we had enough doctors that they were either practicing beside legacy or whatever the case. But now we're growing to the extent where, if someone's retiring, or we've grown enough that we need an associate in the practice, et cetera, it just made sense to have this.
I agree. I think we've always had, people have always taken pot shots at Smile Doctors. I get it. You either love us or hate us. It's fine. But you can't say that we don't do things right as far as patient care, loving people, and taking care of others. And so we really wanted to formalize that a lot. I think one of the big knocks people always say is, yeah, but what's going to happen when all the legacy doctors retire? And, who's going to take over? And although we have 93% retention rate, that includes retiring doctors, it's pretty amazing. And that I think it's 6 or 7 out of our top 10 producing offices are associates. They're not the legacy doctor. That people still talk a little trash. I think that we know that we need to make everyone better. And as we're looking at education today, we're looking at what doctors get, what they don't get, and the gap there. It feels like it's widening over time, just with with all the innovation and just how it is to run a business these days. It's very difficult to leave that on the residencies to train that. It's just they can't. They're training the orthodontics, which is also evolving too, and so we knew we needed to formalize this, and who better to do it than us? We have the opportunity to do it. We're the largest OSO in the world, and so we really wanted to make this the best thing that we could. This is our first year, and just like everything else, we get better and better and better with each iteration. And so I'm so excited about these doctors and their future, and the future of smile doctors. Okay, so Tonya, so a few weeks ago we just had the summit, and then recently we're coming off and we met as a team, as all of the doctors in the fellowship program all met, along with the mentors support doctors. What does the program look like over the next year leading up to graduation from the program?
Yeah. So like I said, that summit, the in-person summit, was kind of the foundation. We tried to touch a little bit on all the things and do deeper dives where we needed, but now we're going to have monthly virtual meetings with new doctor fellows and the support doctors. And so how that will look is the first hour is going to be kind of a training session for everyone on whatever topic it is that we're diving into deeper. And then followed by a 30-minute breakout with that support doctor, so that they can answer, ask any questions, get any questions answered. But not only that, on the side of that, the whole goal is for this to be constant communication, right? And so whether it's through text thread or Teams or whatever, oh my gosh, this patient came in today, how would you treat this? Yep. This scenario happened, what would you do here? Whatever the case may be, the hope is that it's this group is very well bonded, and it's just constant collaboration and contact on what should I do in this scenario.
Yeah. I loved it in those breakout sessions. I got to attend multiple of them, right? Since we have all the divisions all broken out. And it was nice, small little groups. So everybody got a chance to talk and ask questions, but they range from clinical, does this technique work, all the way to how do I work more closely with my office manager, practice director on reviewing reports and managing more my clinical schedule or all the different things. It was fantastic to see just all the questions that each doctor had in the group learning that came across. So I am looking forward to the next 12 months of that as we see just tremendous growth. And then, like you said, the opportunity for those mentees to become mentors and to bring people along. And you always learn more when you teach, right? And just there's just that overall collaboration and communication is fantastic.
This first class, once they graduate, it's impressive what they've already taken and started implementing in their own practices. So the hope is, next year they graduate, they become a big brother or a big sister to a new grad, and they're helping to lead this program rather than always being the student on the other side of it. So it's exciting seeing that. Yeah,
that's super cool. And when we're in the summit, and then we're talking about different things, we got some time on a P&L and on tools that help us to read our P&L and is our practice performance. And I can tell you, I don't know how many said or kind of thought that time they got more time just in that little summit than they did their entire dental and ortho careers learning about business.
Right.
And so that's tough, man. We don't really help our younger doctors succeed as they come through. And so, as an industry, I would say, but that's one of our big missions with this is that we want our doctors to have an amazing work-life passion and balance as they go through in their careers. And because ultimately then it just spreads to the team, the patients, and the whole community. And it's a great thing. One of the other things that was mentioned a lot at the summit was our philosophy in Smile Doctors. We love people first, we straighten teeth second. How did that apply?
Within the actual fellowship meeting. Yeah, I mean, I think truly and this is like, it gets me a little emotional talking about this, because truly every doctor who is helping to lead that, and there's a big group. Like, I'm helping to put the materials together, but man, there's a whole group helping to put all of this together, and every single one is very genuine. The reason that they had amazing have amazing practices is because they're really genuine people who truly want to do the best for patients in every area, clinical care, patient experience. And that stems from taking amazing care of their teams. Like, their teams know how much they care about them. And that, crosses over to working with the new doctors. Truly, genuinely, people want to help, right? And it's just being good people and wanting to do good for the new doctors, for our team, for our patients. It all kind of comes full circle. So I think, we're just surrounded by really, really good people, and it makes it fun.
That's awesome. So if there's a new doctor, young doctor, recent grad, who's orthodontist who's looking to join Smile Doctors, what would you tell them about this opportunity? What would you want them to know?
Yeah, I mean, to be brutally honest, man, if I could have had this right after graduation and not had to do all the grind that we had to try to get this information, it's just, I would hope that people realize like what the value of it is, and that, they take it and actually go and implement it and use it. And if they have that mindset to do that, it's going to make their life so much easier, their relationship with the team, the relationship with the patients, all that much better. I wish I could have this when I graduated, but I got to do it, which is fun too.
How much money did you spend on consultants and kind of the learning for those first few years? You mentioned it at the summit. I don't know if you'd share it here.
Yeah, I mean, we literally spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in consultants. We had, who we thought was the best of the best consultants, and they were amazing. Like, our life wouldn't be what it is without them. But and in addition, we joined Smile Doctors, and literally we're around the best of the best orthodontists in the world, and we get to learn from each other, and that's what makes it so special. So like, we learned a lot from consultants. We've learned more since we've gotten into Smile Doctors and learned from other practices along the way too.
So for new doctors coming out today, it feels like things are different than when you and I graduated, 15 years ago. What are some of the feedback and the challenges that we're hearing from new doctors that they face that were different than what we went through?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So I'm going to tell about my experience and then tell about what theirs might be. But when I graduated, I somehow came out with no debt, had scholarships undergrad, had scholarships, whatever. But then we ended up buying 2 practices and 2 buildings. So we were heavily, heavily in debt. And so in addition to having those 2 practices, I also worked as an associate on the side, because otherwise we couldn't pay our bills, right? Like, we had to pay our team, we had to whatever. Honestly, I don't know how to compare that to a new grad, although what I've heard is that debt levels are way up when it comes to coming out of school. And that there's not as many practices for sale as when I came out. Again, I don't know how true any of that is, but I would imagine, like, if I had come out in that situation, I honestly don't even know how we would have borrowed more money for the practice and for the buildings. It's just a different scenario, and had money to pay it off, because honestly, I remember like a year out, we were not even a year out. Our practice director at the time came and said, I don't think we're going to make payroll. And thank God 2 people came in that day and paid in full, and we made payroll. And it was stressful. Like, it was a grind. And yeah, I don't know how that compares with newer grads, but again, I've heard debt levels are higher and practices are harder to come by. So I'm not sure.
I would agree with you. I mean, I came out with a ton of debt and I didn't have any in undergrad. It was only dental school and ortho, but it was like 624 is what I came out with. Then I bought a practice. So add another $1 million on that. And so it was different. But I do know that, money is tight. Right. And I do think that this generation is a little bit different in how they view startups or view working, the risk that way in business when there's so many other competing factors with like, even marketing today is so complex. It's very different than when I came out of school. All the products that are out there and the overhead and expense to operate a practice. And so I think like that's one of the biggest advantages that we have is as smile doctors in our scale, we're able to give all that to our doctors to be able to operate. And they don't have to think twice about how, what am I going to make payroll? Is this going to work? But instead we can work together to go, what's the best for the patient? What's the best for the business? What's the best for everyone involved in making decisions in that way? And so that's why we wanted to get this going, was to make our doctors just really help them be successful, make their lives a whole lot easier, and so they could win big.
I agree. And I think one thing that Smile Doctors too has done really well in the last few years is have the bonuses based on, the different metrics, but also have the opportunity for those who have an ownership mentality, wanting them to be owners within Smile Doctors and true partners is where it's at. So
I agree. Totally agree. Super cool. Well, I am hopeful that if there are any docs out there who are curious about this, how they can kind of just boost their career and streamline it faster than anything else, we would love to talk to you. We are always looking for amazing people to join Smile Doctors, especially new doctors. And we want nothing more than to have them succeed in business and in life and every aspect. So if you do have questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Kelly Gilmore is amazing and can speak to you about any opportunity that you might have and that we might have for you to join Smile Doctors. So with that, Tonya, you're fantastic. I appreciate all you're doing, your love, your passion for people and how much you want to see them succeed. And you are the best to lead this program for Smile Doctors. Thank you.
Oh, right back at you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.